it up a notch.
G'day teachers and welcome to Take It Up a Notch. I'm Rach, your curriculum guide, here to help you connect tech to powerful learning.
And I'm Claire, your tech guru, ready to demystify the digital world for your classroom.
So today we're talking about a tool that feels like having a research assistant or a content creator rolled into one.
It is NotebookLM. And it is the perfect way for us to get ahead of the new school year admin rush. Good one to get into.
Yes. Actually, really super helpful for that. That would be my number one thing. But let's talk about what it is first. NotebookLM is a really new-ish tool in the ed tech landscape. And so we haven't seen a lot of chatter about it. People aren't asking about it, possibly because they don't know.
Because the ones that know how amazing it is and how much it's evolved already in the short time it's been out. But there's a lot to...
The AI landscape is very saturated with new tools, so it could be easy to miss it amongst lots of new, fresh names.
Yeah. Well, basically, it's an AI-powered personalised expert. And unlike ChatGPT, it only answers questions on the specific sources that you upload to it. So if you've uploaded PDFs, Google Docs, website links, or YouTube videos, it creates a walled garden for your data. So it will only take information when you ask it questions based on that. So whereas Gemini or ChatGPT, it will take it from the web or wherever, this is a much more condensed. Closed environment to get your information from specific sources. Yes, I like that. So I remember going to a Google gathering education, a
Google event?
Yes, an Energizer. And they always share new tools with us. And it came up and they're like, have a go. We're like, what? And what people have done with it is pretty impressive, particularly in the education space. So a friend of mine, he has uploaded all of the curriculum for that particular state to a NotebookLM, and then they can ask it questions if they ever have anything in terms of like we're talking about explicit teaching, or we're talking about when we want to see how the curriculum aligns with certain digital technologies tools. We can upload it and then ask it.
I will say this is exactly what I've used it for. So the grade I'm teaching, I have uploaded each of the syllabus documents that I will need, and then I ask it questions because I feel like New South Wales is better than Australian. But the websites for these syllabus documents are terrible. You've got to click and click and click.
Oh, they're so fiddly.
There's no easy way to find the information that you want. Having all of those syllabus documents uploaded and being able to ask a question of NotebookLM. So much fun.
It's so good. Yeah. And so basically you've uploaded your PDFs or all your content to it. And not only does it have the chat option where you just ask it questions and it gives you answers or creates a response, it's also a note-taking assistant. So it creates this whole bank of resources based on the data that you've got sitting there. But basically, for access, go to notebooklm.google.com and sign in, which I'm doing right now, with your Google account. Most Australian teachers could use it through their school Google Workspace account, but it is now also in your Google Waffle on your Google homepage as well.
It just takes you straight to the website.
Yeah. So just say you want to create a new notebook. So you're on the website, you press create a new notebook, and you get this menu where you can upload all of your stuff. So one way, when we first started exploring this at my school, we started thinking what an awesome way for the year 11s and 12s to have study guides for their upcoming HSC. So we uploaded the syllabus. One of our on the team, he's an English teacher. So we would just focus on a text, like I think it was like Romeo and Juliet or something. And then all of these YouTube clips he had other PDFs of
all
documents.
Of his teaching resources.
That he uses to teach it. So we uploaded all of that. And then once you've done that, you've got the big chat feature in the middle. And then on the side, there's this studio option. And the stuff that you can do with that is amazing. So you can now have an audio overview. So you could ask, because some students don't like to read.
Putting us out of a job.
Yeah. And it will create synopsis of your information, like an podcast about it. So you've got two people, they're usually American accents, and usually it's about 15-20 minutes long depending, so you can listen to that. The video overviews are pretty good. That's only a fairly newish feature from last year, and I had to go with like my slide deck from my lessons when I was teaching year 4, and it made like a video based on all of my lessons. It does it like a slideshow summary of stuff.
What that's just made me think of, you know how in the explicit teaching wave, they're really big on daily reviews?
Yes,
So
consolidation
to
of learning.
save yourself creating your own daily review, could you put in the previous days into your thing and say create the
Yeah.
5 minutes worth of whatever?
Yeah, and though it was perfect for the year 12 level stuff because when we watched the one that it created based on Romeo and Juliet, he said, no, that's spot on. But the one that I felt it was too waffly, the one that because my content was so minimal and if I had more rich stuff,
Yeah.
it would have been better. But it really tried to like make something out of not much. So I found it's just like prompting.
Yep.
The quality of your output is how
Based
well
on
you
your
prompt.
input.
Same with the sources. But the mind map tool is so cool. Like, have
Yeah.
you ever seen
I
that?
haven't played with it, no.
Hey, you want a mind map. So when we were looking at the story of Romeo and Juliet, it literally pulled together when we chose mind map, it generates one, all of the characters, then all of the themes, all of the locations of the story, and then it branches out. So we've done this one on explicit teaching. So based on the sources from those papers we've been given, there we go. Like now you've got this.
Oh, I'm gonna have to have a play with that.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And see how like it just branches out. These are your main headings. These are the things from that. All right. So then what does that one mean? We're going here. And then it's all just generating stuff
If
for me
it's
in here.
doing it for you. So what I'm looking at here is, if I was doing this myself, I'd have to read the text, create my own mind map. That would be helping with my learning. I've
No,
not
it's just
learned
doing it.
anything by
You just
watching
look.
this.
I suppose if you had to write an essay already, your themes are there for
I think
you.
it would depend on what you were.
Yeah, what's the
using it
purpose
for.
of it for? Then there's reports, there's flashcards, which is
Mhm.
really good, like a little study tool.
Yeah.
You can do our quizzes. And so whatever you ask to generate, it takes a little time. The podcast takes a lot longer to create. The mind map didn't take very long. The quiz is just based on, the 4 things I'd
That's
uploaded.
handy.
Yeah, so it's like a study
Yep.
little practice for yourself. So that one's really cool. And this one's new, so like they're in better, but slide deck, it makes a slide deck
You know
from
how I
it.
feel about
I
slides.
know.
Okay.
An infographic. Oh,
I
haven't
do
seen
like
that one.
an infographic.
And a data table. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. Like it's
I think the flashcards could be handy.
yeah. Did it make one? I'd still make it. It takes a little while to load. Yeah. So the possibilities honestly are pretty endless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
I really like that it uses your own sources. I think being able
yes.
to be really clear about what sources you want it to use is super helpful.
Yeah. So basically, it's been on the Google Waffle since February last year. Students can also access it before they couldn't, or it was up to your Google admin to decide it. And as of very late last year, December, I think it was, Google expanded it for younger users. So I think 13 and up can use it.
Wow.
So, and yeah, but
And I don't know exactly how I feel about that.
Yeah, well, see, I don't know how much the younger students would use it, to be honest.
Well, they
I don't-
definitely
well-
could use it, but can they? Like when I was just saying before that, like the mind map, it's making a mind map, but I'm learning nothing. I was reading something the other day, and it was about how generative AI is best for your experienced learners or
Yeah,
people
of
experienced in a
course.
topic. And so we can look at this and think this is saving us a amount of time, but for your novice learners, it's not perhaps the right tool.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's fair enough. And then,
You feel like 13 pluses.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, now it's saying, under 18 can use it, provided your school's IT admin have
Turned it on.
enabled it.
Yeah.
Google Classroom integration. So now teachers could create notebooks and assign them to the students within Google Classroom. So this then allows them to interact with the teacher-created sources. Because at the moment, we can make one, right?
Yeah.
And we want to share this video or something, but you can't share it to students because they're not in our domain.
Yes.
You can make a NotebookLM document that's helpful and share it with your teachers in your domain, but you can't share it with students. So now, if you've got your third party or through Google Classroom, students can then interact with these, which is pretty good. So if you want your students to read a particular amount of sources to then do like an essay or create an assignment based on it, you've got that to help them understand the content more. I think that's valuable, But in terms of data privacy, it's covered because for your school accounts, the student data is obviously protected by the enterprise security for your Google Workspace.
Mhm.
So any of their chats and uploaded sources are not reviewed, or it's not used to train AI, which is always good to know. And personal accounts still have privacy protections because students could then just have their own Google account, a personal one, and then go on there, which I'm sure happens. So they can use Gemini and things like that, or ChatGPT. But then their data is not protected. So there's, yeah. So for safety features, basically the additional safeguards for students, it's stricter content policies. So the AI has more rigorous filters to prevent inappropriate or harmful responses within this. So, and then obviously you wouldn't be allowed to upload content that wasn't appropriate either, and restricted public sharing. So students using their school account can only share notebooks within their own school organisation. So they can't share anything they've made with the public, which is good. So recommended student use cases. Definitely my first thing when I first saw this was an amazing study aid where students can upload their notes, textbooks, make flashcards, practice quizzes and summaries. I was thinking because my own son is in Year 9 this year, and learning how to study is not an easy thing, and I was thinking maybe I could help him with this to get him going.
Especially if you're creating.
Yes.
I'll make some flashcards or I'll make Yeah. Because I do think it could steal a little bit of the hard work.
True, which is you're right. Yeah, but it's there, so why not try
Even
it?
I think the teachers are going to be the biggest winners.
Yeah, for sure. And like, look, the audio overview, if you can turn something that you've got to read, a complex reading assignment, into a podcast you can listen to while you're driving to work or something, like why not?
That is a really useful thing.
Yeah. And then because NotebookLM cites its sources within its footnotes, it helps students practice AI literacy by teaching them to verify information rather than just trusting the output, which is honestly, they don't really take ChatGPT as gospel.
Or even just when you Google something and it comes up with the AI overview, they do not understand what they're looking at.
I know.
And that, my friends,
just gives you the answer.
Is why we need teacher librarians.
So a standard user, you can upload 50 sources to it, per notebook.
I was going to say per notebook.
Yeah, but if you're a Google Plus, 300 things. Yeah, which I think we are because we're on Education Plus. Yeah. And then each source can contain up to 500,000 words. There you go. And then source discovery and deep research. So if you've seen on Gemini the deep research option, which is really effective and impressive. So it does use that to automate complex online research, browse hundreds of websites, and then generate source-grounded reports as well, which is pretty cool. So then you've got the option of that grounded chat. So you can ask questions about the materials that you've put into it, and the AI provides answers. Basically, once you've uploaded everything, before I've even asked the chat anything, it's made a summary of all the stuff that I've just put in. And then it even says, okay, so you want to learn about this? Or like, it's very good. And then we've got our multimodal output sources.
Yeah, I noticed that before too. I thought that would be useful.
Because sometimes you think, it's not quite giving me what I want. And maybe there's some YouTube videos that would support what I'm trying to get from this. So you've got the podcast version. You've got the interactive mode now where you can join in the conversation and ask them questions while you're listening.
We could do one as a blooper.
Yeah, let's do. You can pick a brief one, an in-depth one, or debate style, or there's all you can go nuts with that. Then you've got your video overview. They're like a narrated video presentation with AI generated visuals and
real
stuff.
people, or could you do like a cartoon, or you don't get that much
It did do cartoons when I saw it, So and it has diagrams and more of a narrative flow to it.
Yeah.
Then you've got your mind map, which is that interactive visual word web, and you're seeing all the connections across the sources. Then you've got slide deck, which is only fairly new, and infographics, which is pretty cool because I still use Brisk for stuff like that. So
well, when you run out of credits in one, you go to the other.
But because Gemini apparently on the higher tier now, it makes slide decks too instead of. But I find I still don't.
Give me a blackboard.
I know. And the other ones are the study and productivity tools. So you can make your customized study materials. So one click to make a quiz, flashcards, study guides, glossaries, timelines, essay prompts.
I think a quiz is a good idea because
Yeah.
you can't do that yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas a mind map, I can make it myself. Infographic, I can make it myself.
I just read professional reports, it can create a briefing document.
Look at this.
We had to write quite a lot of those last year.
How do I go back to the main things?
FAQs, blog posts, custom for.
Oh, could you do it for risk assessments?
Yes, I bet you could.
I bet you could. You could
Easily.
put your template in. You could put all the details about the venue in.
Yeah.
Boom, write me a risk assessment.
Perfect. And another example that we were doing was uploading all of our wellbeing policies for new staff to use the notebook to ask questions. So like, so
what
how
do
many?
I do in this?
So like if a student's done this, what's the consequence in terms of our behaviour policy? Or after how many awards does a student get a gold award or whatever it is? Like that's a really handy practical way of using it as well. So then you've also got your learning guide, so your personalised AI tutor mode that uses probing open-ended questions to check your understanding rather than just giving you the answers. So that's what we like. And then you've got your note-taking, so you can actually create notes with basic formatting within the notebook, pin any interesting responses that you get from the AI chat, save them to your notebook, combine notes from other things to put into one document. It's endless.
Yeah.
Collaboration, you can share notebooks with others for co-planning or group research, and you can provide chat-only access so people can not change your sources per se, but they can just use the chat, which I think is good.
But then do you see it? Like if I used your chat.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Or do I get to make a copy of it?
That's a very good question. Yeah, I'm just sharing this one with you. We'll see. But while we're waiting on that, price-wise, it's a core service now for Google Workspace for Education, Fundamental, Standard, and Plus, meaning it's got that level of privacy. Standard use is free, but you get obviously higher limits and access within Google AI Pro for Education level. All right.
So the notebook has come my way. Surely it would just be me.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Is this one?
But you know what? You're seeing all of the resources I've made too. Look, see?
Oh.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have to remake them.
Is yours shared with your whole school?
It's just Chris, Tim, and me that have it.
Okay, so if I did a little question.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
You know what's tricky about this now is that I don't have the knowledge, like, so say I've got, because I've got a Year 6 syllabus one, I've got a K to 6 syllabus one, and so I know exactly what's in there to know what to ask.
What do you mean? Haven't you read those?
But I don't even know what these are. Like, I'm like looking at the headings. See, because listeners, you need to know your sources.
Yeah, of course. You can't just.
This is good.
You won't know what to ask it if you.
And if you were using it with kids, you'd need to say, right, this AI tool, this notebook is using these things that we've already covered in class. Yeah. You know?
I just think it's so amazing that I tried to generate an audio review on mine, and now because I've shared it with Rach, she can see it's also still generating on hers. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, see, I'm not seeing your response or anything, so it has become one for you to list. Yeah,
lovely.
There you go. It's so, but like that one question, look how detailed that response is. Crazy.
That's really helpful. Yeah, for these things like policy documents that are really big, they've got multifaceted.
And really, you're not going to sit there and read.
I know, I've been reading.
I know you do.
And then I've been
Give me a summary.
I've been going off and reading what's underneath them. You know, there's so much chatter at the moment. So currently, listeners, I'm looking at one to do with explicit teaching.
That's all the talk right now.
And there's so much talk about cognitive load theory in that. And so I've been going back off and reading more about that.
Yeah.
But then if you've had that initial read and you could put it into something like this, it's much faster to be able to get the information that you want.
Yeah. Very, very much so. Pros, look. No hallucination from outside the web, which is very good because it stays on just your sources, and those instant audio overviews are awesome. Yes, you can share it with others, and the process is just similar to sharing something in Google Drive. You can share privately with specific individuals or create a public link for broader access.
Because you know what this is, am I interrupting your pro?
No, go.
So what I'm thinking of, we had CNET available, the
Yes.
CNET chat.
We still do, you know.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. I haven't used it for a little while.
Yeah, we were using it at the end of the year, yeah.
And so that was system-specific AI. New South Wales has EduChat?
Yeah, the department,
The
yeah.
department one.
Yep.
And so within those, you would create an agent, and the agent would be trained on your own things. And so I wonder if schools have access to something that's a bit more tailored to their context.
Yeah,
You know, it might do the same sorts of things.
definitely.
And I feel like the more I'm using AI, the more I find it's useful to just use one, like pick one, because it gets to know you.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Oh, the one other pro was you don't have to share the whole notebook just to share the podcast overview,
Yes.
which is pretty cool. You can actually download it as an audio file and then just share that in Google
I think
Drive.
that could be really powerful for teachers. Because
Yeah.
if you've put in all of your resources and you've generated a quiz to help people study,
Yes.
just give them the quiz, just give them the audio overview, just,
Yeah.
make them do a little bit more work themselves.
Yeah, but cons, obviously, like we said before, you can't share one you've made with students because they're not within your domain, and then you're limited to only 50 sources per notebook. Surely you don't need that many, but that's a lot. But anyway,
I don't know.
but sometimes I find it can be laggy. It takes a long time to generate an audio overview, depending on how big it is. The quiz is still going, so it can take a while. It can struggle with complex logic like advanced chemistry or busy slides.
Oh,
yeah.
I'd struggle with it too.
So curriculum guru, how cool? Oh gosh, we've
Well,
already
I'm not
sort of
actually.
covered this.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about curriculum today because I do think the strength of this is for our teachers.
Yes.
And so I'm going to talk about a document that I don't think we've touched on yet in the pod. It's called the Australian Framework for Generative Artificial Intelligence in Schools.
Mhm.
It's come out from the government, available online. We'll link it in the show notes. And if you are a teacher and you're using AI, you need to have a read of this. It's really
Absolutely.
a really positive document.
Yeah, it's great.
They recognise that generative AI technology has great potential to assist teaching and learning and reduce administrative workload in Australian schools.
Wow.
And that is what this will do.
Oh gosh.
What can you say about workload? It's such a problem.
Mhm.
And if you are listening, if this tool created a quiz for you and that saved you 20 minutes, well, use that 20 minutes on something nice.
Yeah.
We've got to hold our boundaries firm. Don't use it for more school stuff. But as you go into the framework, it looks at different principles. It looks at teaching and learning, human and social well-being, transparency when using AI, fairness, accountability, as well as, your sort of more logistical stuff, your privacy, security, and safety. And when we're thinking about NotebookLM, we've done a lot of talking about teaching and learning. And one of the guiding statements is that generative AI tools should be used in ways that enhance and support teaching, school administration, and student learning. And I really wanted to pick up on that word enhance because, I feel like I used this podcast as my soapbox, Claire, but it's been bothering me a little that AI is being used to generate content for kids and they're not being told that it's AI generated.
True.
And say it's quiz questions. Well, there's probably not a better option that unless you're doing it yourself and then it comes back to a workload issue. But I've seen where they're generating things that children are learning to read with.
Mhm.
And maybe you're getting all the sounds in there that you want. However, we have a better option, and the better option is human-created text.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to point out that the framework asks that these tools enhance what the kids are doing. And if what's already in existence or what they could be doing, even I suppose if I come back to if they make their own mind map, is it enhancing or is it taking away? And I think teachers need to have a think about their context and what's going to work for them. And that if you're using these tools, that students are engaged in learning about generative AI tools and how they work, including their potential limitations and biases. And then say we're using it with high school kids and we've used AI to generate the quiz. Well, we might say, well, this is what I've done. I've generated the quiz and we're going to have a go at it, blah, blah. Then you get to 11 and 12 and they're using it themselves. So their understanding should be deepened as they are using it more and more often. So if you are going to pursue this with kids, definitely 100% you should be looking at that Australian framework. I know a lot of schools have their own frameworks as well.
Yeah, or their own AI policies and things.
Yeah, and chances are that the document that will be sitting underneath their own policies is probably this one.
Yeah.
So definitely well worth taking a look at because it's really just common sense. Good advice for when using AI in schools.
Definitely. And I must admit, I'm guilty of it too because Gemini can create images so well, but sometimes you can tell that it's AI.
Oh,
like
6-finger Jesus.
Yeah. Or there was like
Six-finger
a sheep
Jesus.
with 3 eyes in it. And we're going through these slides and the kids are like, they were so distracted by the sheep with 3 eyes that the lesson was gone.
The lesson's gone. So that's the framework, which is handy to look at. But also you can think about the professional teaching standards. The one I wanted to point out is that teachers are expected to engage in professional learning. And with the influx of tools that are coming online and that teachers are using, it is happening.
Yeah.
Whether or not systems and principals, school leadership likes it or not, they're definitely happening. And so if you're not being offered professional learning or,
listen to our
not being
podcast.
of course. But certainly professional learning should be being made available to teachers in schools so they can use these tools well. And so if that's not happening in your school, it might be something that you might chat to school leadership about because, super important.
Yeah. You got to be a critical mediator of AI use. You can't just take that as gospel like we're saying. I know. Like, because, kids do, but like as an educator.
No, I've seen teachers do it.
So it's quick and easy and it does save you time. However, don't take that as your own. Still need to put your teaching lens on top of that as well.
Now, with that in mind, Claire, I have a question for you. What do you think the long-term impacts on teacher professionalism, identity, or pedagogical skill will be if lots of things are being outsourced to AI or scripted lessons? But we'll just talk about AI today.
Yeah, you're right though, and I'm guilty of it too because I've been planning lessons these holidays, and yes, I had the original idea for what I wanted to do, but then I'm asking AI to help me come up with
I think for you as an experienced, knowledgeable educator working in a space, it's not like you're suddenly having to teach.
Yeah.
I don't know, year 9 textiles or something. Not to say that you couldn't. But you're sewing buttons on with me. So I just worry, see so many people online coming out of uni or wherever they are, and they're saying like, oh, no one's giving me a program. What do I do? And you're like, that's the bread and butter of what our profession is.
Yes.
And so if everything's just being generated, I worry for people that they're going to be, now this isn't a word, but I think it should be, deprofessionalized because they're not getting that experience of being able to program themselves. And then if they're not doing that, how will they know
what's a good program and what isn't?
Yeah, when something gets generated, how do you know if it's good or not? So it's a little worrying.
Oh, look, you're right. And with everything, I love it that it saves time. But you've got very valid points as always, and you're always thinking ahead. I just think in the here.
I think really good for your experienced teachers that know your sources. If you're going to use this, would be my advice. Know your sources.
And that's right.
Having you don't understand,
like we were saying, the quality, the more quality of the source, the higher quality of the output that you'll get. But look, we encourage you to give it a go. Like have a look on NotebookLM. And I found it a bit overwhelming at first and thought, where do I start or what would I exactly use this for? So we hope that we've given you ideas of how you could use it at school and how you could make some valuable sources for yourself or to help students with their learning. So give it a go and upload some PDFs or just a syllabus and then see if you can get it to create some activities for you. So please follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We've also got our website, takeitapanotch.com.au. So been pretty good at uploading all of our episode links there, some photos, some videos, and all sorts of stuff. And I like to find good YouTube videos of resources that are linking to what we're talking about. If I had the time, I'd love to make my own one day. That'll get there.
Let's generate it.
Yeah.
Put the podcast. We'll generate the video out.
And then please, if you have any questions or have any suggestions for upcoming episodes, email us at takeitapanotchau@gmail.com. Rach has, we said this in our last episode, but anyone who sends us an question, we will send you. We've got these cute little magnets
for your staff room fridge.
Check it up a notch, and people can scan the QR code. Does that go to our website?
Yeah.
Nice. So so the little cool promo ticks. Yeah, I'm going to take one from my phone.
Take the whole box. One each.
All right.
And you can have one too, listeners. So get in touch, and we will see you next time on
Take It Up a Notch. Bye.
Take it up a notch.
Gemini is my best friend these days. I'm always using Gemini.
Hello. I could think of some other good friends you've got.
Of course. But no, you know what I mean.
You've got a million friends.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. The six-fingered Jesus.
Oh,
no wonder he could make all those loaves and fishes. All extra hands.